Hello,
Yeah,
Pranam,
Swamiji.
namaste. You are, and you've already turned on the YouTube stream? Oh,
Yes.
that's why I'm not getting anything. Now I'm not getting my cameras or
Mm-hmm.
any menus.
You will get click on the screen. You will get the menus down bar.
Everywhere, there it came. Hello, start video. All
Yes.
right. Hello, Mr. Video. Are you started? You are now. Well, where are you? I don't know what you're videoing. There, let's try this.
Ye-
Ah, is that the right way?
Yes.
Good. Well, hello, Shrima. You just came in the nick of time. We were going to read your book, all about you. Oh, that's beautiful. Now, let's see if I come back just a bit. I think you're visible. Is Srima
Yes.
visible completely, or am I cutting off her head?
No, she is visible.
Excellent. And you can hear properly?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then we'll try to begin. Oh, let's try this side of the camera. You? Oh, nice of you to come. Mm. Now, Mr. Microphone,
Is it charged? Yeah.
that's Srima's microphone.
Mhm.
There you go. Can you see us properly?
Yes.
And you can hear us too?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Om Sam Saraswati Namaha Namaste. And in this session, we're going to be reading from the book Sri Ma Living with the Soul. And we're on page 65. And the story is God is always with us. I'm this. This is mine. Idiot thoughts. Oh, mind, you imagine all that stuff was real and careless and tangled the heart? Who am I? Who is mine? Who else is real? Oh, mind, who serves and who is served? All of this gladness and sadness are nothing. Oh, mind, the light is snuffed by possessions. Everything is lost in a dark room. So live in a wise house and be wary. And that was from Ram Prasad Sen, from Mama's family. For Sri Ma, God is both personal and universal. Her union with God is so profound and absolute that there is no longer a distinction between worshiper and worshiped. It is a spiritual as well as psychological conception. It is the true being, the true consciousness, the true delight of existence beyond the body, the mind, the life's force, or heaven. She has crossed beyond all these planes in order to arrive at the higher plane of superconsciousness, which is her foundation and home. From here, she guides us in our struggle between spiritual powers of light and darkness, truth and falsehood, knowledge and ignorance, death and immortality. Her key messages are through awareness of each moment with compassion and acceptance. Witness thoughts coming and going, and feelings and sensations rising and falling. There is no individual self, just a passing show of thoughts, feelings, and sensations. See everything as God. Meditate upon that being who is higher than the highest. He is the cause of eternal bliss. He alone resides within the space of Sri Ma's heart and illuminates her purest clarity. In this conversation, Sri Ma explains the connections between the individual soul and the universal soul. Sri Ma. A divine soul always lives with everything and everyone in the universe. Divine soul means God, complete consciousness with the universe. When a devotee is very devoted to God, like she was, a divine soul is always with them. When a divine soul meets a pure devotee, a divine soul will recognize them and know who they are and what their karma is. This is the relationship between a devotee and God. For example, you feel me sometimes. Why do you feel that? Because I am with you. Whoever has that connection, that devotion, he will feel that a divine soul is always with him, with oneness. One time I was going to Rameshwaram by train with some devotees. In another compartment, two German priests were talking in their own German language. I was in Samadhi, and when I woke up, I told Kay and Parbat, go to that room, you find those two Catholic priests talking about their ministries in India. He went and said, my mother said you were talking about your ministries in India. Is it true? They said, yes. Who told you? They came to see me and said, how did you know that? Do you speak German language? I smiled. Then they knew I was divine and they were devotees of the divine too. They were trying to reach God, so there was a connection. They bowed down to me and invited me to Germany. A divine soul lives with each individual soul. When the Jairamboti lady tried to jump into the Ganges, people stopped her. She saw the Divine Mother. She was calling for the Divine Mother. So I told her that I was there. She did not see me as a human being. She saw Kali, a form of the Divine Mother. When I saw her in Joyramboti and told her about the incident, she thought, this is the Divine Mother. When Ram Das went to see Neem Karoli Baba, he read Ram Das's mind. It's the same thing. Ram Das was seeking something divine, and he went to a divine being, and the divine being knew who he was and what he was seeking. When you live in truth and do sadhana, nothing is hidden. Very few people can hide from me. When Maya is pulling you, taking away your mind, when you are swimming in Maya, you can't think about God. At that time, you can't tell who a divine being is. Therefore, you need to meditate and do sadhana. Then you will know you are not separate from any soul. Then you can recognize a divine being immediately. It is very beautiful and it is very easy. If we keep ourselves straight, Sri Ma picks up her narrative after leaving Joyrambati and boarding the bus to Dakshineshwar. So I got off the bus at Dakshineshwar, where Ramakrishna lived most of his adult life, and a man took me to the Krishna temple there. Do you know the Ramakrishna story about the temple? One day, the Krishnamurti statue of Krishna, the leg broke. Mathur Babu, a devotee who owned the temple, wanted to throw the murti away. Thakur said, if your leg was broken, would you throw yourself away? So Mathur had the leg mended. I sat down at that Krishna temple and I went into samadhi around 7 o'clock. When I woke up, a very black woman was sitting near me eating betel leaves. She was dirty, and red betel juice was drooling from her mouth. She had wild curly hair. She said, I knew you would come. Therefore, I am here waiting for you. Mother, Arati is over. It's after 12 o'clock. Let's take some prasad. She gave me some of the Divine Mother prasad from the Kali temple, and we ate together. After that, she took me to the 12 Shiva lingams on the Dakshineshwar grounds, and she asked me over and over again, do you remember? Do you remember? Then she took me to Ramakrishna's meditation room. She said, you go there and sit down. I sat down and I was completely gone. And when I woke up, she was waiting outside. She said, I rented a rickshaw. Now we will go to your place, Sarada Devi's place, the house where Sarada Devi lived near Dakshineshwar. She told the rickshawala, take care of her. And the moment she said that, she disappeared. When she disappeared, I wasn't surprised because this has happened many times in my life. I felt Thakur is doing his Leela. Let him do whatever he likes to do with me. When you are living in pure consciousness, you are living with the whole universe. Any form can come to you and you can go to any form. A pure soul is always connected with the whole universe. A pure soul, you are not different than anything in this universe. You are related to every atom in creation. When you reach that step, you can see so many things. You are completely different. You are dissolved. When we arrived at Sarada Devi's house, it was closed. Suddenly, the door opened automatically. A monk came out and said, it's closed now. You can't see anything. I told him, okay. And I sat down outside on a bench and I went into samadhi. When I woke up, I saw a beautiful young lady sitting with me. She asked me, hey, mother, where do you come from? Where are you going? And I asked, who are you? She told me her name and that she said, and that she was studying English. And she said, I would like to be with you. I said, I don't know why you want to be with me, but you can if you like. She asked me, where would you like to go? I told her Belur Mort, the main temple of the Ramakrishna mission. And she said, I'll take you there. So she took me to Belur Mort up to the gate, and there she disappeared. I went inside Belur Mort, and evening arati was done. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know where I was staying. I didn't talk with anybody. I just walked. I walked through the Belur Mort and started walking down the winding paths outside. It was a dark night and the road was small and narrow. Suddenly I heard a woman shouting, Mother, Mother! I wondered, who is that calling me? It turned out it was the woman I saw at Joy Ramboti, who had tried to commit suicide. Do you remember? She took me to her house and she prepared everything for me. Every second she was taking care of me. She was very sweet. She started telling the Belur town people the story of our meeting in Joyrambati, and many people came to see me. A big gathering started. Laughing, the whole Belur town was. What is the English? Crazy for me. One day I was sitting in that lady's house, and Thakur said to me, now is the time to go to Orisha. So I said to the people there, Thakur told me to go to Orisha, but I don't know how to get there. It turned out that that woman and all her family came from Orisha, and her son worked at the railway department. He said, Mother, don't worry. I will get a ticket for you and arrange everything. I reached Puri, and when I got off the train, a rickshaw driver, came up to me and said, Mother, where would you like to go to? I told him I don't know, because this time Thakur hadn't yet told me where to go in Orisha. I said, wherever you would like to take me, take me. The rickshawwala drove for a long time. Eventually, he took me near the ocean to an ashram called Bharat Seva Ashram. The rickshawwala told me, Mother, sit down here and you can see the Swamiji. He will make arrangements for you. And he disappeared. I sat down on a bench, and suddenly a tall man came over to me and asked, Mother, where are you from? There were several hundred people around that day. I told him I came from the Kamakya temple and I need a place to stay. He said, you sit here. I will make all the arrangements. He went to see the president of the ashram. Soon the president came out to see me. He said, I can't give you a place in the ashram, but I know the best place for you to stay. The tall man took me to a house, and they gave me a big, fancy room. It was the house of the main priest of the Puri temple, and his name was Ramakrishna Mahavaktari. He said, you stay here as long as you want. I wasn't talking at that time, just a little when I needed to, so I stayed there and I chanted the Chandi at 3 in the morning. One night, Thakur told me, you have to go to the temple now. It was a long walk on a dark night at 2 in the morning. There wasn't anybody around laughing. Sometimes a jackal would yell in the night. I reached the Puri temple and was just about to enter when I saw a big, tall sadhu. He had ash all over his body and was completely naked. In that moment, I knew Thakur sent me to see this saint. He looked a little bit like Trilinga Swami. When he saw me, he started to shake. I stopped and bowed down to him, and he bowed down to me. Then he closed his eyes. I went inside the courtyard of the temple. I just walked a couple of feet, and it felt like somebody was pulling me back. I turned around to walk back, and I saw the naked sadhu. Then he disappeared in front of my eyes. Isn't that great? After that, I came back to my room and chanted the Chandi. On the same day, second day, Ramakrishna Mahavaktari's son came and said, Ramakrishna Mahavaktari wants to meet you. He is waiting in his room. I went to see him, and he was really a divine priest. He looked at me and said, go to the next room. That is your place. I went to the next room and saw a big Durga statue, and I went into Samadhi. It was so beautiful. When I woke up, I came back to my room and sat, as always, in Samadhi. At evening time, I woke up and I saw the tall man was waiting to see me, and there were many people with him. In fact, the whole village was whispering, a mother has come and she's so young. The tall man was curious about me and a little doubtful. He was thinking, this is incredible. I don't know if I believe her. I'm going to test her and see. I didn't know he was going to give me a test. Lots of village people were standing there, and the tall man said, I'm really impressed with you. I know Ramakrishna is your guru. Did you perform sadhana like Ramakrishna did? And I told him, no. Whatever Ramakrishna says, I follow. Wherever he takes me, I go. He is doing everything. Ask him. He became irritated and yelled, you're a liar. Now I need to tell you who I am. He was the disciple of a very famous tantric guru. I forgot the guru's name. And he said, I am his disciple. I can do anything I want to you. I will find out what sadhana you did. I said, okay, you ask Thakur. And then I went into Samadhi. I don't know what the tall sadhu saw in me when I was in Samadhi. When I woke up around midnight, a few people were still standing with him. He started to cry, and he bowed down to me and said, give me your blessing. I grew up here. I'm getting old here. I did sadhana. I'm still doing sadhana. And this is the first time I have ever seen a real mother. You are Parvati Devi, the supreme goddess. He started to tell everybody, and soon the whole temple and then the whole town was talking about me. The next day, he came to me and said he would take me to a secret place in the Jagannath temple. He took me to many different secret temples. In the Jagannath temple, They have a flag, and at a certain time on a certain day, they changed the flag, and he went to the top and gave me that flag. There is an arati at Puri that is very unusual. At arati time, the Divine Mother gives someone the order to do arati. The arati is done with a big candle holder that has 108 lights, which normally no one could hold. But when Mother gives the order to someone, that person can hold the arati light and perform arati. It's very interesting. If she does not give the order, then there is no arati. He wanted me to see that. On the following day, I told him I needed to go back to Kolkata. He got me a ticket, put me on the train, and told the ticket conductor, please take care of Mother. She is going to Calcutta, traveling to see her children. When the guest is being searched for, it is the intensity of the longing for the guest that does all the work. Look at me, and you will see a slave of that intensity. Kabir. Though a man can easily accept knowledge as the widest power of consciousness, whose function is to free and illuminate, yet he has difficulty grasping the real power that unlocks the most profound mystery of life. Some say in the heart or behind it lies a mystic light, call it intuition, though not of the mind, yet it descends through the mind, a guiding force leading us towards truth. So the heart is nearer to the life mystery than the human intellect full of knowledge. In Srima's heart, completely liberated from desires, wrath, intense demands, greed, and fallen life forces, dwells a spark of divine that is always connected with the universal being and its manifestation of the universe. Shrima is always connected to us on many levels. Once in a while, when we pause long enough, we touch upon the marvel of that connection. Srima explains her personal connections with her devotees in the following section. Srima begins, when I initiate somebody, we are one soul. I can't leave them. They are with me all the time. When they are conscious about the connection, they know it. When they are attached to other things, then those attachments are what they are aware of. Do you understand? When you love somebody deeply, they are always with you. If you love God, you become God. This whole universe is my family. Sometimes a devotee has an experience that I physically visited them, even though I was in another city at that time. They would say to me, Mother, you appeared to me and we talked. Or they wrote me a letter and said, thank you for coming to me. People saw me in different places. When a devotee calls me, sometimes I need to go. I go in my subtle body. They will see me with their pure devotion. Some people will see me in their dreams. Some will feel me with their feelings. Lots of devotees see me that way. That is natural, completely natural. Once I was with them in Kolkata, even though my physical body was in Guwahati. Even now I travel. One might wonder how it could happen. If you are completely with God, you can travel anywhere. You can do that. If you love God, you can do anything. Krishna said, I am everywhere. If you know Krishna, you can see me. When you really know God, there is no difference between you and God. My actions are his actions. Wendy and Sam. We have time for one more story. Wendy and Sam. The readers may be as intrigued as I was when I heard Srima's statements above. In my research to understand the context, I came across Wendy's story, which she calls Something Magical Happened in My Home and to My Son. Here is Wendy. My first encounter with Shrima and Swamiji was when my Gita study class was invited to visit the Devi Mandir. Before I left, I signed on to complete the peace cycle, and nothing has been the same since. The peace sankalpa is a commitment to chant 100,000 times a mantra from the Chandi for world peace everywhere. Once home, I started my recitations, sometimes silently and sometimes aloud. After a week or so, my 17-year-old son started to imitate me. Only he was saying, in other words, he sounded out the first word and then just mumbled the rest. So I asked him if he wanted to learn the mantra, to which he responded enthusiastically, yes. He memorized it and the English translation in less than 5 minutes. He was quickly able to recite it quite fast and clear. This might not seem that remarkable. However, my son is autistic. He is fairly high functioning and has pretty good language skills, but I can assure you there is no way that I can get him to recite anything that he doesn't want to. I know because I have tried. He now says the mantra every morning upon rising, and it is the last thing he says as he falls asleep at night. I have suggested for him to pay attention, and if he hears it in his head, to let it come through naturally. I also suggested that if he is moved to do so, he can say it before his meals. If this continues to grow, I am going to get him a hand counter so he can keep track of how many times he says it each day. That is something I think he might like. Last month, Swamiji blessed him with the gift of Rudraksha bead for healing, which he happily and seriously wears around his neck all the time. He never stops talking about Srima. He listens to her sing. He wants to cook the recipes from her cookbook. Sometimes he will sit next to me at the computer for the beginning of the Gita classes, and he keeps her picture in his room. Something magical is happening in my home and to my son. Last night in Gita class, Swamiji answered my question about those with small intelligence and their ability to reach God. He said that those with limited mental capacity often have a pureness about them that allows them to see and know things more easily the rest of us do, in part to not having the same distractions the rest of us deal with every day. And yes, they can reach God. My son is a very pure spirit, only seeing the good in others, assuming everyone loves him as much as he loves everyone. And now he has connected to the loving energy of Srima. He has actually said to me, Ma can see my soul all the way from California. I know she loves me. And here is a picture that was drawn by our sadhu friend, Richard Odo. Let's pause here for this session. Om Sam Saraswati Namaha. Namaste. Thank you all very much for joining us. In our next session, we will read about Shiva visits Swamiji. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Swamiji.
Swamiji.
Pranam.
Pranam, a great delight to see you
Thank you,
all.
Namaste, Swami.
Would you say hello to all our friends, Mama?
Jai Ma.
Jaima. Let's see, I think I have to turn the camera around somehow. Oh, I remember those. There they are.
Namaste, Mother.
Yes, you are doing divine grace.
Thank you, Ma. Pranam.
Pranam.
Jai Srimo.
Jema.
Jai Rajesh.
Namaste. Thank you all for joining us. And we'll see you again. We'll try to come tomorrow. Namaste.
Okay, sure. Namaste.
Jai Ma.
Namaste. Jai Ma.
Yeah.